I don't understand the no. If you unmute and speak to us, it's a little bit easier, Hector. It goes a little faster. So again, I should see everybody highlighting that section now. I should see just kind of highlighting, putting the section that describes that to us. All right. And I see Cheetah's already highlighted the next section. She said the Greens bought farmland in Pleasant Ridge. Yep, that's what happened 5 years later. We can kind of see here, this whole section right here tells us that. 5 years later, if we spell it correctly, 5 years after being property, John Green and his oldest son were able to buy property they own. The Greens bought farmland. So that gives us a very detailed description of what they did 5 years after they came to Wisconsin. All right, then we have this. The next question we look at, this is actually a map question. And all you have to do is look at the map and identify like what is the process here they're doing. So if you look at it, it says, where did John Green and his family go first? Right? So here kind of we have to follow the lines, and that's all we're doing. We start here at St. Charles County. We go up here to Platteville, over to Bloomington, and finally to Pleasant Ridge. So hopefully we could get that one just by following the arrows on the map. Oh, we skipped one, I'm sorry. This one, what river did the Greens follow north? What river is that? Well, if we look right here, it says the Mississippi River. This is the river that flows right here and goes all the way down. It connects all those places except for Pleasant Ridge. Pleasant Ridge is a little bit further away from there. Okay. All right, then we can go on. Now we're going to be on the last 2 pages. So go to your page 4 and try and highlight real quick. What did most people do? What did most people do in Pleasant Ridge? What did most people do in Pleasant Ridge? See if you can highlight with your purple highlighter what most people did. What do we have? Uh-oh. Where does it show us? On slide number 4, I should see people jumping over there. Should see people on slide 4 right now. Where does it tell us what people did, what most people did in Pleasant Ridge? Are we getting it? hopefully.
That's like I was say I don't know because I was most the full answer but doesn't get the right answer. Then,
Okay, so we didn't have the right answer on that one. Well, what do we think? What kind of, it says there's different kinds of families there, right? What do they do? What do these families do? Like to me, when I look at this, it says, that's fun. So, find this here. Right, hold on. So when I look at this one, I want to find like just describing something about the people who are there, right? So an example I might see is like these farm families. It talks about all these groups of people in the first paragraph. The second paragraph, it tells me that they're farm families. So a lot of farmers. Okay, and that's the best choice. If we looked at our questions, that's the only choice we have. It says slave families. Well, they're not all slave families because the first paragraph tells me that there's different kinds of people there. I also know they're not businessmen. It doesn't say anything about businessmen. It doesn't say anything about being miners. So that's where I would highlight that one. Now, what groups of people came there? Let's look at this first paragraph and see what groups of people are there. It says 3 groups of people. Highlight those 3 groups. You might have already done it on your people highlighting. Just look at your people. What were the kinds of people that came there? What were the kinds of people who came to Pleasant Ridge? If we look at our first paragraph here, what kinds of people? There's 3 kinds of people who came there that it tells us. Three kinds of people. I see Nolly's got it. Yep, I see Cheetah's highlighting them now. So if I were to look at it myself, I would say, well, we know that slaves, because that's the Greens, right? The Greens are former slaves. We know that some are immigrants. And then it gives us a little more detail, and it says that some of those immigrants are European Americans. So hopefully we can understand that if we look at our question, those are the groups we're talking about. We're talking about immigrants, or sorry, slaves, immigrants, and European Americans. Now the next question kind of asks us a little bit more. We got to jump down here. It's asking us about the school. What was special about the school there? What's something special about their school? Let's highlight with our purple highlighter again. You can go down to that third paragraph. Highlight something that's special about this school. Right, that last paragraph on that slide. What is special about this school? All right, so I see like Nolly's highlighted a fair amount. How can we trim this down? Let's highlight something else, Nolly. Let's focus on what is special about it. Because I see Nolly's found the section there. Ah, I see Cheetah's got it. Or Cheetah's got it, yep. All right, so what did you put, Cheetah? What did you have down there? What did you say was special about that school?
Integrated.
Integrated, yeah. And I don't know if we got a definition of this, but I'll put here on the screen what integrated means is we have to remember back then there's two kinds of people who are there. Well, there's two groups, right? We have white folks and we have black folks. So what this means is this is a school that was integrated, meaning the white folks and the black folks went to school together. And it's one of the first ones that had that. How cool is that? In Wisconsin, we had one of the early schools that was integrated, that had black students and white students going to school together. I think that's pretty cool for Wisconsin to me. I think that's a really cool thing. That says something about our state that's a little different than a lot of other states, maybe. So the Greens, their children could go to school with white children. Even though they were former slaves, they could still go to the school. And that's what we're just kind of looking for. Some of that special part that makes life in Pleasant Ridge kind of nice, I think. We already know that in Pleasant Ridge, they bought some property. Their kids can go to school. They're farmers, right? We know they own their own land. That it also tells us about some other stuff. They had picnics and things together. They could celebrate with other people. That's kind of cool, I think. Okay. Then it goes to the last question here. What happened to Pleasant Ridge, though? In the 1880s, what happened? Go ahead and highlight with your purple highlighter again. Highlight with that purple highlighter. What happened in the 1880s? What happened? That's on the next slide. I'm sorry. The next slide goes into the 1880s there. What happened in the 1880s? Again, this will be on slide 5. I'm sorry. We're kind of jumping to the last part here. In the last paragraph of the reading. All right, right down in here. In that last paragraph, what happened to Pleasant Ridge? Oops. The last paragraph on slide 5. What happened in Pleasant Ridge? Right? What happened in Pleasant Ridge in the 1880s? Anybody get that one? I see. Nolly's got a good idea of it. I like that. Cheetah is on slide 4 still, but that's okay. See, what I like about this is we have a bunch of activity on these slides now. In this reading, we have a bunch of highlighting. We have a bunch of stuff to help guide us through. And we're just looking at the reading. Whenever you read something, you shouldn't just read it once and say, I understand it. Reading is a process. You have to go back and read it, pick out some things you understand, go back and read it again. Maybe look at it with the questions then and try and understand how the questions connect to the reading. Find the evidence in the text. Right? So Yanni, you want to jump down to slide 5 there. In this last paragraph, we're looking for what happened in the 1880s. Same thing, Cheetah. There we go. Perfect. There we go. Yes. What happened in the 1880s? Maybe you can tell me. Maybe somebody can paraphrase. Who can paraphrase for me, maybe? What happened in the 1880s to Pleasant Ridge? Right down on slide 5 here, Hector. What happened in the 1880s? What happened in the 1880s? I mean, it tells us quite a bit of details. Go ahead.
Kids start to moving away when they grow up.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we see. We can maybe put in our own words. The kids started to leave. The people who lived there started to leave. And it tells us some different reasons there. It tells us that the children grew up. When they got older, they moved away. That people started leaving to go to the cities because there's more money and better jobs. So we have that migration again. Think about this. It's kind of like a poem. We start with the migration. Let me go to mine. We started with the migration of people coming to Pleasant Ridge. We had the slaves, right? We had the Green family and other people and Europeans and immigrants. But then also we have people leaving, and we have these pull factors that bring them there, these that they want freedom, so they come there. They want land, so they come there. But then these pull factors that make them go to the cities then, because there's better jobs in the cities. They've lived there, now they're moving to another place. And this is something that's kind of a constant thing in every place. So yes, we would say that beginning in the 1880s, the people moved away. People started moving, and what happens to a town if there's no people there? What happens? What do you think, Cheetah? If there's nobody living in Green Bay, what happens to Green Bay? Any ideas? You there, Cheetah?
What is question?
Sorry, what? What's the question? So what happens if people start leaving Green Bay? What happens to Green Bay? Will it be a city anymore?
No.
No, it'll be gone, right? It won't be a city. Nobody will live there anymore. So that's what happened in Pleasant Ridge. This is that last part. It's kind of interesting. It tells us that in Pleasant Ridge, there's no more people there. Pleasant Ridge is no more. It's not a town anymore. It's gone. And that's what happens sometimes. Migration and immigration cause places to kind of disappear. All right. So again, that was just reviewing these questions to kind of guide us through this reading. So now we can go to our graphic organizer that we promised on Monday, that we've been waiting to get to. So you'll want to leave your slides open. Open up your graphic organizer. This is week 3, number 2. Let's open that up. Take a minute to open it. We only got about 10 minutes left, so we're going to get started. You're going to have a small assignment to put together for tomorrow. And I got a bunch of windows open now. But you will need your document, your slides, and the document together. I'm going to jump off your slides now, so you guys can leave them open, but you'll just use them because you'll need the reading. So I should see you guys jumping onto that document, the graphic organizer. Oh, I can just go there. Like, what am I doing? Hold on. I'm doing it wrong. Oh my, Mr. T, get it together. Okay, there we go. Need to open up the document. So when you go there, there's 2 things that you can open on the right side of your screen. It will have your slides or it will have your document right below that. We want the document today. And when you see it, I don't want that. Don't go too fast like Mr. T is doing because it'll mess you up. All right. Don't go too fast. All right. Bingo, bango, bongo. All right, let's see who's on their document right now. Mine's loading. Mine's taking a while to load. Holy moly, my child's got hers figured out. She's been working hard, hardly working. I see Nali's on hers. I see Yalian's getting there, I hope. I see Cheetah on hers. Perfect. It looks like Cheetah's looking at my screen or something else too at the same time, which is okay as long as I see you on your document. Hector, we should get there. All right. I thought I had Groven too. Groven's not on his yet. We should get there, Groven. This is week 3, number 2.
What's the name?
It's week 3, number 2. We're just in the same place we were, but there's 2 documents in there. One is a slide, one's a document. So if you click on yours, on the side, it says, like you'll see right here, it has the document or the thing or something like that. It should have a way to get to both of those documents. We're in the graphic organizer right now. Okay. So it tells us the directions here. It tells us, because right now we need to answer the question that the book gave us. How did John Green and his family escape slavery? How did they get away from slavery and reach Wisconsin? Right? So now we need to kind of explain. We're going to tell a little story here. How did they get to Wisconsin? And we're going to take evidence from the text. This is the important part, is grabbing the evidence from the text. Now for this part here, for this first 4 boxes, you can just copy and paste sentences from the slides. So if I think the answer is this, and sorry, if you guys want to come to my screen and watch what I'm doing here, please come to my screen. If you want to highlight this and say, I think this is part of the answer, I can highlight and copy it, and I can plug it in to my answer right there. That's one part of my answer, I think. Is it? Not for this one. This one's wrong, but I'm just showing you I can copy and paste. I need 4 pieces of evidence that help me understand that. I'll give you guys a little hint. For these questions, the answers on number 1 are grouped together. Okay? So find 4 pieces of information that tell me, how did they get to be free? How did that happen for them? Maybe you can tell me when it happened. That's part of the story, right? So that's what we'll put in these boxes. 4 things. Then if you go down, we'll leave this answer here till tomorrow. We'll write that together tomorrow. If you've already done it, that's cool. If you want to do it and finish it, perfect. You can share it tomorrow. I'm fine with that. The next part, it says, what was life like for the Green family and other African Americans in Pleasant Ridge? Now this part is, notice I colored them pink or purple, right? You see how the color is a different color? That's because if you look at the slides, it's the same color. So you know which slides you're looking at. So now let's try and find 4 pieces of evidence from these 2 slides that tell us what was their life like. What kind of things did they experience? It talks about their jobs. It talks about their children and schools. It talks about churches. It talks about how the city grew. It tells us different parts about their life. So for the second part here, you're going to be grabbing evidence from the text and putting it into these boxes. What are some sentences that tell you what life was like? What are some sentences that help you understand what their life was like? Okay, and this is your homework assignment for tomorrow. Again, we're not asking you to do much. It's 8 sentences from the text. If you want to be super duper student, which is fantastic if you do, you can also try to do this part. Try to put together your answer at the bottom. Try to write your answer in this short paragraph. But if you just want to do this part, we're going to look at this tomorrow. And if there's people who finish this answer, we'll have them share tomorrow. We'll have them give their ideas and help us understand. And maybe if you do this part, we'll try to also help you understand how to paraphrase your answers better. So you're not just copying from the book, but actually putting your own ideas with what you read in the book. Okay? So I'll put a note in here for everybody. Yep, I see it looks like, yep, Cheetah, we put in there, but let's put 1 sentence at a time in these, right? 4 boxes should have 1 sentence each. So let's put a little note in here. If I can, where's my comments? I can't comment. Why? No. Oh, man. All right. Okay, so finish. Today is the 2. So put this note on there for you guys on your document so you can say, hey, Mr. T, you never told me. You didn't say to me. But guess what? We are. Okay. So finishing that up, again, this is just copying and pasting 4 sentences that you think help you answer that question. All right. Do you have questions about what you need to do? We read through the text. We hopefully better understand the text. Thank you for that, Carlos. Hopefully we can understand what the text was talking about a little better with those guiding questions. And now, I think I got everybody right. All right, so that's all we have for today. Any questions? Hey, everybody good? I'm gonna stop sharing because it's freezing my screen like crazy.
I'm good.
All right, good. Go ahead, Nolly. Everybody else is good? I'll stop share there.